Hi, in this session we'll see how to create an interactive ALV report. As in the previous session we have seen how to implement a user command, and we have seen how to call the transaction ME23 and on double click on the field of EBLN. So let's have a look at the previous session. What we have done in this purchase order little report, whenever we click on any field, so we have called ME23 and by passing that purchase order number. So in this session we'll see in detail how to develop an interactive ALV report. So we'll see three methods. Like first, on double click of the purchase order number, we'll call the transaction code ME23 and second, on double click of any other field, we'll display a secondary list, and third we'll see how to call a different report by using the submit statement. So like this, we'll see the method of calling a transaction code, displaying the secondary list, and using of the submit method and parameter ID. What is the parameter ID? That we'll see in this session. Now first go to our report that we have created earlier, that is zdemo_p_report. Okay, first let me add one ELP field on the screen, s_EPLP for EKPO. This is for the purchase order line item number. Save, check and activate. Go to text element, EPLP. Go back, add this in the select query, and EPELP in s_EPELP. Okay, now as we have already implemented the user command in the previous session, okay, so here in the form routing of user command, whenever user double click on the list, so we are reading that internal table into the work area, okay, using that index. So here currently I have not checked like on which field user has clicked. Okay, so here we will add the field name as EBLN. So currently we'll see how it's working. Put a breakpoint here, execute. Now let's say I'm double click on the PO date. So here in the EBLN number I'm getting the purchase order number, but on which field user has clicked. To know that, go to the RS cell field. Here we can see the field name as AE date. Okay, so we'll add that logic here. Go back. Now if the purchase order is not initial and RS_ cell field name equal to EPELN, then only call transaction. Okay, if user click on any other field, system will not call the ME23 and transaction code. Now we'll see what will happen. Check and activate, execute. See, now if you click on purchase order number, this is called the ME23 and, but if I click any other field, system will not do anything. Okay, go back. Now second we'll see how to display a secondary list. Okay, so for that, first create a field catalog. So what we'll do, as we have already, we are already displaying the purchase order header and line item in the same report, but in real time there might be scenario like in the basic list you have only the purchase order header information, and on the double click of any purchase order number then you have to display the line item details. Okay, so for time being, in the same report we will display the another report. So let me add one more internal table like GT underscore list 1. Type external table of TP underscore list. For field catalog, define one more field catalog. Let's say this is GT underscore fcat1 count 1. So what we have done, first we have defined one more internal table for displaying the secondary list. Then we have done a data expression for the field catalog details. Now go to user command, add one more if condition here, else if gs underscore list epln is not initial. So here we can write any logic, then we can display the secondary list. Okay, so what we'll do, as all the details we already having in our report, so we'll do gt underscore list body equal to gs underscore list body. In real time you can write any logic here. Now delete gt underscore list 1 where epln not equal to this purchase order number. So we'll display only the purchase order details on which user has clicked. Okay, so here perform display PO underscore item. Double click here. Yes, create in the same report. Now here add the field catalog details. So here in this form routine, add the secondary list field catalog details. Okay, first go back, adding here. Okay, it is gs okay, gt underscore list I have to use. Double click on PO item. Here add the field catalog for the secondary list. So let me add the field catalog for the line item details. Like I am using gv underscore count 1 and the field catalog 1. So I will be displaying the purchase order number, the PO item, material code, material text, quantity. Okay, and just like the basic report in the secondary report, but here I will be passing the gt underscore list 1. Okay, the main report we have gt underscore list. For secondary report I am using the gt underscore list 1 table. Save, check, activate, execute. Now if I double click here, this will call the ME23N, and if I double click here, this will call the secondary list. Let me click on some other. See, we can see the multiple line items. So this is displaying the particular PO on which record we have clicked. Okay, so like this way we can display the secondary report from the basic reports. So in this way we have seen how to use a call transaction method. Second, we have seen how to display the secondary list. Now we'll see how to use the submit method for calling a report. Now suppose there is a requirement, like instead of basic list, instead of calling the secondary list, we want to call some other report. So in that case we can use the make use of submit method. So for that, go to our coding first. So here let's say if my purchase order number is not initial and the user has clicked on the EVELP field. Okay, here I'm comparing the field name. Okay, then what we'll do, we'll call one more report. So for testing, we'll use the same report. How to use the submit syntax: submit the report name with the selection parameter which you want to pass. So in this report, I have the selection parameter as s_ebln, as this is select options. So I have to pass the range. And ebln. Second, I will be passing one more parameter like s_eblp between eblp and gs_list eblp and return. So what this will do, gs_list, okay, this is eblp. eblp. Now what we'll do, when we click on the purchase order line item number, so this code will call another report by passing those two parameter values, and once you click on back, we'll get back to the same report. Execute. Now if I double click here, see this is calling the complete purchase order number. But here, if I'm double click on the line item number, I'm clicking on line item number 20. So we can see only that particular line item is called, not the other details. Okay, so depending on the business requirement, we can decide whether to use the call transaction method or whether to use the submit report. Okay, and not necessary, and we can also make use of calling a secondary list. So depending on the business requirement, we can use the interactive report concept. Now in this way, we have seen how to use call transaction, display secondary list, and submit method. Okay, now parameter ID. What is parameter ID? Let's go some detail. Now see, when we call the transaction ME23N, here we have passed the parameter ID as BES. So I already shown in the previous session, but again, just let's have a look at that. So go to transaction code ME23N. So here we have to pass the purchase order number, right? Let's say I want to display some other purchase order number. Okay, so how to pass this purchase order number dynamically? For that, click here, press the F1 button, go to technical information. So from here we can note down the parameter ID which you have to pass. Okay, then from our code, what we have to do, we have to use set parameter ID, that value, and the field value which you want to set, and then call transaction ME23N. So in this way we can set the parameter ID. And one more thing we'll see, like what is the hotspot. Okay, so like here we are double clicking on the particular field, but if you want to achieve that in a single click, for that there is a method called hotspot. Add this in the field catalog. Hotspot equal to X. Let's see what is the impact of this. In the field catalog, if we add the syntax as hotspot equal to X, so we can see a hand icon and underline. This means we don't have to double click on this field. Okay, just click here. So on single click it will work. So this is generally used to show a column, as this column has a link. Okay, like here we don't know where to click. Sometime, suppose depending on the business field name, if you want to give the hyperlink, so we make use of hotspot just to show the user like this field has some link on that. Okay, so in this way we can also use the hotspot concept in ALV reports. So like this we have finished our next session of making of interactive ALV report. In this video I'm just showing you conceptual knowledge, okay, like how to make the basic reports. In real time you might have different logic, but the concept will be same for calling a transaction, for displaying the secondary list, for submitting the report. Okay, so we'll see in next session with some more different scenarios. Okay, thank you.